some of these receivers getting hurt can't really help your rapport with them. But it looked like you and Dante Pettis kind of are reestablishing something. And Dante seemed today to have, well, his most productive day in a long time.
Yeah, he's been coming along. It's very encouraging. Just the physicality that he's playing with, the competitiveness that he's bringing. You love to see that, and it's just one of those things you got to keep it rolling. And so I think our whole group, though, as a receiving core, has done a really good job so far.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Tracy. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about Brandon Ayuk these last couple of days and what you've seen out of him.
Yeah, he's been good. There's flashes that you could see that he has a good feel for feeling the zones, and when it's man to man, he knows when to break off routes and just do what he has to do to get open. And he has it's a real natural instinct just running routes for him. It's really cool to throw routes to a guy like that. It's kind of he sees the field very similar to a quarterback, and it makes my job very easy.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Nick. I know you touched on this last time you talked to us, just talking about the importance of yak, yards after catch in this offense. I'm curious, is there more of an emphasis on it here than other places you've been? And is it something to do with just kind of the way the scheme is designed, or what have you seen in that regard?
Well, I think at the two places I've been, New England and here, it's been a pretty big emphasis of both the offenses. And, it's about the receivers, the running backs, tight ends, all, once they get the ball in their hands, what can they do? But as a quarterback, the more accurate you could be, the easier it is for those guys to make plays with it once it's in their hands. So I think, it's one of those things that we talk about a ton. We talk about it so much that it just kind of comes naturally now, I think. And we got the guys to do it, man. I mean, you see it out there every day. Those guys they could roll.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Jennifer. Kyle really brought Jerick McKinnon in originally to kind of build the offense around him. What is it about him and his route running, what he does on the field that really makes him different, and how he can really change the offense?
Jet brings a little bit of everything. He's a unique running back. Kind of like I said about Brandon, he sees the field very similar to a quarterback, and that's a cool part because, when it's a soft zone, he'll feel the spot and get to the spot where you want him to. And he sees it the same way as me, and we could talk the same language. And all the backs, they do a great job of that stuff, just finding the right spot, finding the soft spot, and then they go get yak after. And what they do in the run game, I think, speaks for itself with those guys up front. I mean, it's they got the full package going back there.
Hey, Jimmy, this is Chris Biederman of the Sacramento Bee. Just curious what your thoughts were that now that George Kittle is signed, and if there's been any back and forth banter between you two now that he's fairly well compensated.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of that in the locker room. We got to keep each other humble, but all in good fun. But I'm so happy for George. He's one of those guys. It's well earned. He deserves every bit of that contract, and you just gotta. You're happy for a guy when it happens like that. Just you see everything the guy's been through. Coming from Iowa, being a late round pick, and making the most of it. And I'd love to have him on my team, and I love his shirt game too.
Hey, Jimmy, now that you guys have kind of been in camp for a couple weeks and just the last few days of practice, do you have a better sense that, or how's your confidence changed about them pulling off a season amid a pandemic? I mean, have concerns lessened? And maybe go back a couple months ago, did you have a lot of doubts in your mind?
I think everyone, you go back a couple months, not even just doubts, there was a lot of questions. I think just, my family, my friends would ask me questions and I wouldn't know. And it was just, pieces really had to fall into place perfectly, and they have so far. And I think, the NFL and NFLPA have done a great job of putting us in a great atmosphere. I mean, you can't take any more precautions than we're taking right now. So it's been really good, though. I'm excited for the season, and hopefully we keep this thing rolling.
Hey, Jimmy. Juwan Jennings was known in college as a very physical runner, broke a lot of tackles, et cetera. I'm not sure how much you can glean from these practices, but you maybe speak to maybe what you've gleaned from his mentality and just how he's performing so far early on.
Juwan, he's got a great mentality. I'll tell you what, he is always ready to roll, locked in, confident, and you love to see that from a receiver, especially a young receiver. Just he brings it every day, and you can see once he gets the ball in his hands, he's ready to roll, and he wants to get physical with people. But it is practice, so there's that fine line. But it's been fun with him. You know, he does some special things out there. One-on-ones, he's been tearing it up on the field too, just in team drills. But it's whenever you get a young guy like that, it's always encouraging, and so just gotta keep it rolling at this point.
Hey, Jimmy, it's been pretty well documented some of the success that guys have had in the second year with Kyle in the system. Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub, a couple. Do you go back? Have you gone back and looked at those guys at all and seen kind of development? Is there anything that you can kind of pinpoint as something that just feels more natural to you going into this year?
Yeah, we watched those guys a ton. We watched a bunch of old tape from ourselves a couple of years ago, but there's examples that go way back in this offense. This offense has been around for a while, but I can't put my finger on anything specific. I think it's more of just the understanding of how everything ties together with the run, the pass, trying to make everything, look the same but different at the same time. And I think that's the magic of the offense. Just Kyle does a great job of that, thinking a couple plays ahead and putting you in a good situation. And I think when we're thinking the same way and we're on the same page, that's when we're really clicking.
Hey, Jimmy, we noticed that you were wearing a brace again. I'm just wondering if there's any reason or just for comfort level. I know it's a huge, yeah, anyways. Also, what you've seen from Trent Williams kind of being on the left side, his battle with Nick Bosa, I know it's been an interesting battle so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the knee feels great for everyone concerned out there. The brace just for precaution, getting back into camp and everything like that. But the knee feels great. And the battles on the edge, between Trent, Bosa, Mike, D, there's a lot of battles out there, and it's impressive. A lot of talent on talent, and it's one guy will win one rep, and the next guy, he'll win the next one. And so that's the battles you want to see in camp. If it was one side dominating the other, that's a bit of a concern. But it's been a battle every day, and it's been a grind. So that's what you want to see during camp.
Jimmy, we haven't gotten a chance to speak with Dante yet, but have you noticed a change in his attitude and maybe a heightened sense of urgency, just given the state of the receiving core and where he might be at in his career?
Yeah, I think, it's really, Dante has it, but it's really everybody. We're all out here competing. We're competing for job, and it's, at the end of the day, you just got to put your best foot forward and do what you can on the field and make the best of it. So I think the competition part of it, that's good. That means that our team is in a good spot. Guys are competing for roster spots, and that's what you really want during camp. And so, whether it's Dante or anyone, all the receivers, they've been battling their ass off, and it's been impressive so far.
All right, last question for Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy, Kyle Posey, Niners Nation. I was wondering, so Kyle Shanahan said you guys need to take advantage of the deep ball when it presents itself. And early on, it seems like you've had some good connections deep. So was that a main focus for you this past offseason? And my second part of the question is, I saw you wearing the 10s. How many Jordan cleats are you going to wear this year?
I'll start with the cleats. I don't know. I really like the 10s. They're kind of my babies right now. So I'm going to stick with those for a little while, see how those go. And we'll take it from there. I got a couple different color variations that I'm holding on to, but we'll get those out soon. But what was the other part? Sorry about that. Oh, the deep ball, right?
Yeah, it was just the deep ball about, was that a main focus this past offseason for you to work on?
Yeah, I'm always working on it. I like where I'm at with it. I think we got guys who are able to, run those deeper routes, post goes, things like that. And as long as I can get it out there for them, we'll be in a good spot. But it's always been one of those things that, it is what it is. And I think we got the guys to do it this year.